Good morning, council member.
Good morning, Tosha. You'll tell us when we can begin. And forgive my tardiness. Had a little cat problem this morning.
Councilmember, we're ready when you are.
All righty. Thank you. Good morning to you as well.
Sorry, I believe we only have Councilmember Bonds and Councilmember Silverman here. I think we still need one more council member
right.
to join for a quorum.
Okay. Good morning, Alyssa. How are you?
I'm sorry about your cat problem, Anita. You know I'm a cat lady, so
I know.
let me know if I can help out.
Oh, Agnes was trapped in the foyer all night and I didn't know it.
Oh,
So
Is-
yeah.
you mean you have a door and then another door?
Yeah. So yeah. So she and I had fun this morning.
Oh,
Okay.
I might have to get a cat again.
Oh yeah. Agnes is very special. She reminds me at 10 o'clock it's time to go to bed. I mean, she starts, and then she'll come back again around 12:15 and then she disappears as if okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
If she were only a bird, she would be very happy.
Just one cat, Anita?
Yes, yeah, Agnes, yeah. My favorite was Petey, but he ended up being ill, and I hated it. Oh,
It's
takes your
tough.
heart away. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
I know. It's tough.
And I think when you have an animal in the household, it makes it more fulfilling, just doing things, even when they get in the way of the vacuum or something like that. It's okay.
Now, Anita, are those new glasses?
These are transition, and I forgot I had them on. I try not to because
Oh.
they, yeah.
Oh, okay. They look like different frames.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they're kind of a brown, red or something.
Yeah. They're a little bolder than
Yeah, they give
glasses
me
normally wear.
more of a, yeah,
Mhm.
as opposed to my usual plain self.
No, these are just, they stand out more. They do.
Yeah, contrast.
Hmm.
So Robert forgot about us today, huh? You think we can get Kenyon maybe?
It's possible, but Katie is texting Councilman.
Yeah,
White right
yeah.
now.
He's
Apparently.
joining now. Excellent. Thank you, Katie.
And Councilmember McDuffie's staff wrote to me this morning to say that he might be able to join, but something came up at the last minute, so he might not.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tosha. Yeah. Ah, fantastic. it does seem that the further you are away from the downtown, you tend to have this video trouble all the time. I mean, when I was in Ward 7, the system went down 9 times. It's amazing. And yet in the community, the cry is, we don't want those towers, you know, microwaves. I mean, I'm like, what can we do? I don't know if there's any technology. You can't put it underground because you need the wave.
My apologies. I could not get on through my laptop, so I'm on through my cell phone. My apologies for the delay.
Well, good morning. We are delighted that you were able to join us. I was just talking with staff about once you leave the downtown core and probably Ward 6, Councilmember Silverman, we tend to have extreme problems with the steadiness of the system. So, Tosha lives in Ward 3, and he is saying, yes, he has the same issue. Seems to further you away from the microwaves. So, but thank you very much. Councilmember Robert White is also, okay, fantastic. Thank you all so very, very much. And we will begin now. Good morning. I am Councilmember Anita Bonds, Chairperson of the Committee on Housing and Executive Administration. The time is 10:45 a.m. on Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. This is an additional committee meeting which is being held virtually via Zoom. It is also streaming live to the committee's YouTube channel, HEA Committee. I'm calling to order this additional meeting to mark up the following confirmation resolutions. PR 24632, Full-Time Commissioner of Real Property Tax Appeals Commission, Cliftine Jones, Confirmation Resolution of 2022. PR 24633, Full-Time Commissioner of Real Property Tax Appeals Commission, May S. Chen, Confirmation Resolution of 2022. PR 24-634, Full-Time Chairperson of the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission, Trent T. Williams, Confirmation Resolution of 2022. PR 24-655, District of Columbia Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, Melissa Lee, Confirmation Resolution of 2022. And PR 24-647, District of Columbia Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, Edward Fisher, Confirmation Resolution of 2022. The committee held a public roundtable on the 20th of May to hear from the nominees and have received written feedback from the public. So I will first discuss the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission nominees, and then we'll discuss the DC Housing Authority nominees. The Real Property Tax Appeals Commission was created to conduct fair and impartial real property assessment appeals hearings for the citizens of the District of Columbia. The commission's objective is to ensure that appellate real properties are assessed at 100% of market value based on properties similar in size and utility so that an equitable tax burden is shared. The Real Property Tax Appeals Commission is the second level real property assessment and appeals process. Prior to filing with the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission, a first level administrative appeal must have been filed with the Office of Tax and Revenue's Assessor's Office. Our first nominee, Ms. Cliftine Jones, was nominated by Mayor Bowser for reappointment as full-time commissioner for a term to end April 30th, 2026. Ms. Jones is a licensed real estate broker and is a current commissioner on the commission. She has over 40 years of commercial and real estate experience and utilizes her managerial expertise to oversee the successful operation of a boutique real estate firm. Our second nominee, Ms. May S. Chen was nominated by Mayor Bowser for reappointment as a full-time commissioner for a term to end April 30th, 2026. Ms. Chen is a current commissioner on the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission and is the former Chinatown Cultural Center Executive Director. She also served as principal where she successfully developed $3.5 million of residential subdivision and founded the minority development team of Kingston Bedford Parcel 18 project and is a current member of the Chinatown Steering Committee. Our third nominee, Mr. Trent T. Williams, was nominated by Mayor Bowser for a reappointment as full-time chairperson for a term to end April 30th, 2026. Mr. Williams has been a member of the commission since 2012 and has been involved in various scopes of the commission's duties, such as writing decisions, preparing for hearings, and mentoring new commissioners. In addition to serving the district government, Mr. Williams is also an attorney and has advised corporations, government agencies, nonprofits, and individuals in the area of real estate investment, business development, tax management, retirement, and many other areas of fiduciary services. At this time, I want to acknowledge my colleagues who are in attendance. I'll start with at-large council member Alyssa Silverman, and of course, at-large council member Robert White, and my own council member from Ward 5, Kenyon McDuffie. And so I'll start with Councilmember Silverman, if you care to make any remarks at this time.
I don't, Councilmember Bonds, thank you very much.
All right, Councilmember White.
No, thank you, Chairperson Bonds.
All right, and Councilmember McDuffie.
Not at the moment.
All right, okay. So without objection, I will move the committee report and print for PR 24-632, also for PR 24-633, and for PR 24-634 in block with leave for staff to make any technical changes. All those in favor, would you signify with a sign of aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, the measure passes unanimously, and thank you very much. And we will move the documents to the full council. We will now move on to our two nominees for the DC Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. The District Board of Housing Authority is an independent government agency with the main objective of providing quality affordable housing to extremely low and moderately low income households, fostering sustainable communities, and cultivating opportunities for residents to improve their lives. The agency serves over 50,000 qualified low-income residents through traditional public housing, tenant and project-based housing vouchers, and mixed income properties. The District of Columbia Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is a 13-member governing body consisting of community and business leaders within the district. The council recently added 2 new commissioners to the board, one nominated by the mayor and one appointed by the council, who are not employed by the Housing Authority, to serve as representatives with professional experience in designing and developing public and private multifamily housing. The Board of Commissioners is charged with the duties of governing all of the affairs of the Housing Authority, including but not limited to reviewing and approving contracts for goods and services, implementing appropriate rules and regulations necessary for the effective administration of the Housing Authority, and performing any other necessary functions to ensure the provision of quality services to the residents of the various properties. In understanding the critical roles of the Board of Commissioners, I am very much looking forward to hearing how each intends to improve the board as we move their nominations forward, hopefully today. Our first Board of Commission nominee is Melissa Lee. Melissa Lee's nomination was introduced on the 24th of March, 2022 at the request of the mayor and was referred to the committee on April 5th, 2022. Ms. Lee was initially nominated on February 17th, 2022 for reappointment as Public Commissioner for a term to end July 12, 2025. However, this nomination was withdrawn on March 1 so that she could consequently be nominated for a new position that was created through the FY22 Budget Support Act of 2021. In the FY 2022 Budget Support Act of 2021, the council created a new position for the Board of Commissioners specifically for a member with professional experience in designing and developing public and private multifamily housing. Ms. Lee was nominated on the 24th of March by the mayor for reappointment as a member of this new position for a term to end July 12, 2025. Ms. Lee is a current Ward 4 resident and certified treasury professional. Prior to her role at McKinsey Group, Ms. Lee served as founder and managing principal of Lee Squared Consulting Group, where she delivered strategic, optimized organizational, financial, and capital structure. Additionally, Ms. Lee serves almost 10 years at the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, where she directed the implementation of Treasury strategies. Now, I'll turn to our next Board of Commissioners nominee, Edward Fisher. Mr. Fisher's nomination was introduced on March 21, 2022 at the request of the mayor. Mr. Fisher is nominated for appointment as a public commissioner, replacing Ms. Melissa Lee to complete the remainder of her term ending on the 12th of July, 2022. Mr. Fisher is nominated for appointment as a public commissioner to serve a new term, which will also end in July 12, 2025. A native Washingtonian and current Ward 7 resident, Mr. Fisher is a community, government affairs, and real estate professional with expertise in both public and private sectors. As the former executive director of St. Elizabeth's East Development, Mr. Fisher managed and supervised all aspects of the largest real estate development project in the district, which included 252 affordable housing units, over 100 townhomes, and large office buildings. Notably, Mr. Fisher also served as chief of staff and committee director and legislative counsel for the DC Council from 2008 to 2014. Based on the background and expertise of each nominee, I recommend the confirmation of each nominee to their respective commissions. And now I will turn for any discussion from my colleagues. I'll start with Councilmember Silverman.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Bonds. So I will be voting yes on both nominations to the DCHA board. I remain concerned that too many DCHA board members have professional relationships with the deputy mayor for planning and economic development, who holds a seat on the board and certainly represents the mayor's agenda on the board. As you know, Councilmember Bonds, at his hearing, I asked Mr. Fisher about this. Mr. Fisher works in government affairs for American University. And as we discussed, part of Mr. Fisher's duties is to work with the deputy mayor and with the Bowser administration in his professional role for American. Look, I know Mr. Fisher from his time working at the DC Council, and I know him to be a nice person and a person of integrity. I did express to Mr. Fisher that he might be in a situation where he is working with the administration in his role as a lobbyist for American University, and also asked to vote a certain way by the administration on the housing board. And Mr. Fisher assured me that he would keep those roles separate. You know, I take him at his word. I think separating those roles is incredibly hard. But frankly, and this is what I think, you know, I had a little deliberation, Councilmember Bonds. Mr. Fisher is really no different than a lot of other people on the board. who have professional and personal relationships with the executive. I guess that's local politics. So as I said, I'm going to take Mr. Fisher at his word. I know him to be a man of integrity. I think he will encounter situations where he is asked to vote a certain way by the administration. He assures me that he will make the best decision for the Housing Authority and the District of Columbia. So I'll be voting yes, both on his nomination and on Ms. Lee's renomination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember White, do you have?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson Bonds. We have all heard from constituents extreme concerns about housing conditions in our public housing across the city. Some of that bubbled up in the news recently. I know many, if not all of us, have been to many of our housing authority properties and seen conditions that we wouldn't want to live in. We wouldn't want our families to live in. And I think that we have to be abundantly serious about where we are in terms of maintaining our current stock of public housing. I have abundant respect for both nominees, but I also recognize that both nominees do business with the city. And I think the best nominees for the Housing Authority are people who are independent of the city, people who have an incentive to find the problems that we're seeing in the Housing Authority. I recognize our nominees to be good people, but as Councilmember Silverman noted, that there are going to be conflicts because of these folks' professional dealings and what we need from them as sort of fiduciaries on the Public Housing Authority. There is an inherent conflict when you have to stand up and say there is a problem with the condition of housing, with the maintenance. Certainly there are issues within the agency that we need to unwind. And until we put in the people who are really going to go in there with a flashlight and find them, I think we're going to find ourselves going in circles. I don't want to vote against these nominees, and I will vote for them. But I do want to recognize that I don't expect a shift from what we are seeing at the Housing Authority. And I think we have to recognize that going in, despite the fact that these nominees are good people. I think that we're sort of seeing a continuation of the status quo on this, and that concerns me. So I'll be voting yes on these nominees, but I think that we have to be very serious about what our long-term plan is with respect to the Housing Authority. Thank you, Chairperson Boggs.
Thank you very much, Councilmember White. Councilmember McDuffie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to be voting yes on the nominees. And while I appreciate the concerns that have been raised, I think there are very serious concerns that my colleagues are raising for a very important reason. The roles and responsibilities of these nominees are critical to moving in a forward direction and seeing some progress with the Housing Authority. But I will say, in particular with Ed Fisher, somebody who I know have gotten to know both professionally and personally. In addition to being a nice guy, I think he's a very qualified guy for this position. And I think you'd be hard to find somebody who brings what Ed brings professionally as somebody who works at American University, who previously served on the executive side as executive director of St. Elizabeth's East. He's previously worked at healthcare field, and he also previously worked here at the council, both as chief of staff and another position for one of our former colleagues. But he also is somebody who grew up here, graduated from our school system. And I think he brings a tremendous amount of experience, historical, which I also think should not be discounted. And so while it's important to point out the potential for people to have conflicts, I think we all know that there is a process in the event that a conflict occurs for people to address that as members of these types of boards. And so I want to celebrate the experience that he brings and his willingness to serve as a native of this city and somebody who continues to contribute in a myriad of ways, including volunteering with a number of organizations here in the District of Columbia. And so I want to just take an opportunity to point out and highlight, I think, the quality person, professional nominee that he is, and say that I'm enthusiastic about supporting his nomination in particular today.
Thank you, Councilmember McDuffie. Without objection, I move the committee report in print for PR 24-655 in block and PR 24-647 with leave for staff to make technical changes. All those in favor, if you would signify the sign of aye.
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 Thank you. All right, and I don't need to continue the roll call because we have all indicated affirmatively that we will support this nomination. So I will report to the full council unanimous vote for confirmation of these individuals. And thank you. This concludes today's additional committee meeting. With that, the time is 11:05 a.m. Same day we started, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Thank you all.